Hello, my love. Today I want to talk about Q4, the pre-game, the preparation, locking in for 2026. This is something I've talked about multiple times on my channel, and I will link below some videos that relate to this video that I've created before. Today I want to sort of recap those videos and give you a few short ideas to get you in the loop, in the game for the new year. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, I believe that the game is won in the fourth quarter. I don't care how many points a team scored in the first, second, and third. The fourth quarter is where it really happens. Someone could be ahead the whole time, and then fourth quarter it could change. And so I believe if you feel like you're behind, if you feel like things are not going the way you planned, you feel like 2025 was not set up properly, or you failed. Number one, that's okay. That's totally fine. It's part of life. Sometimes we don't do exactly as we planned. But what I would encourage you to do as you're preparing for 2026 is start now. Don't wait until the first of the year. There is a day called Quitter's Day, and I talked about this, I believe that was this year. Quitter's Day is the second Friday of the new year. And basically by that time, about 80% of people, based on stats that they've acquired from gyms and apps and different things for tracking, about 80% have quit their goals, their New Year's resolution, by the second Friday of January. That is wild. Within 2 weeks, sometimes even less, depending on the year and when the second Friday falls. That's wild. That's a lot of people. That means the bulk of people come in and they're trying to do 10,000 different goals at one time, and they fall back into their old patterns because they did not change their identity. They did not work on their habits and things like that sort. I do have a video on Atomic Habits, some of my favorite concepts and tips that came from that book. I talk about Atomic Habits a lot by James Clear because I really love how he condensed and took a lot of ideas, and his own, of course, but a lot of ideas from other authors and other coaches and people who have created books on habits, and it's in one book. Whereas before I had to read multiple different books to kind of get that same idea, where in Atomic Habits, it's laid out for you, I think, in a very well written way. And so one of the things that in Atomic Habits that he talks about is the identity change. And this is something that has been mentioned by many authors, many coaches, many people for decades, even before I was born, even before James Clear was born. Habits. And it starts with that. And that's why I believe if you really want to get ahead for 2026, you really want to reach your goals, I believe you have to start now. I believe that just like how an athlete, a champion, is training in the off season, that is what you need to start doing. And how to start doing these things. Your intentions, I believe you want to start off with them smaller versus larger. Because if you've been going about your life all this time, constantly failing, and I don't mean failing in a bad way, because you could fail and learn a lesson, but I mean constantly not finishing things, constantly not following through, constantly not doing what you say you're going to do, having that self-discipline, that internal consistency, that internal integrity, then your body may try to sabotage you. You may self-sabotage when you actually set goals. And maybe the solution, maybe the thing to test is trying something smaller. And what I recommend is something that I do throughout the year. And I've been doing this for, I think, the last 2 years, but really, really, really good this year. I've been doing it really, really good this year. Is I take a goal. And so for your 2026, I would take no more than 5 goals. I would really shoot for like your top 3 goals and focus on those 3 things. But right now, focus on 1. So whatever of those top 3 or top 5 goals for 2026, what can I start on right now, today? Or if you absolutely can't start today, tomorrow, what can I start on? So say the most obvious one that most people choose when it comes to the new year, and I'm not being like this because we all do it in the beginning of the year, is usually a fitness or weight loss or something around food and eating and appearance. So if that is your goal is to lose weight, is to bulk up, is to gain muscle, whatever that thing is. So say you take that first goal and you say, okay, what is it going to take for me to get to that goal? What is it going to take for me to be able to build this muscle? What is it going to take for me to be able to lose this fat? And you may have to do research. This is why I think it's important to start earlier, because if you wait till the first, you're already behind. You're not starting on time. But if you start preparing now, you know what habits and disciplines you need to acquire, or you need to implement and the ones that you need to remove. So I would take take 3 things, 3 different habits, 3 different disciplines, 3 different things that you see based on what you are researching, based on what you know, because some stuff is you already know internally, you just are denying it. Some things you may need to sacrifice and say, okay, what are those things? I'll give you some examples. I'm not here to tell you how to do it because I believe that we should customize when it comes to our own goals. I'm not here to tell you how to do the goals. I'm telling you, or I'm giving you a guide on how you can make and create those goals and get the ideas to do that. So say it's the first thing I think of when I think of whether it's weight loss or weight gain is the food element. So then for you, it may be, okay, my habit is I'm going to start going to the grocery store every week. And the reason why, definitely read that book if you haven't read it or watched my video, because I don't want to go explaining everything I said in that video already. But one thing that James Clear talks about that I love is the idea of the habit, not necessarily always following through with the habit, but just the habit itself. So example, you want to meal prep, but you have a problem with cooking. I did not like cooking. I can't say now I don't. I just don't like to cook as much. I don't like to cook as often, but I still like to cook now because I basically made this into my identity. But if you asked me about a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, I would tell you I hate cooking. Like I was hoping I would find somebody who would love me and wants to cook for me. I still want that, but I will cook now and actually have pleasure. And I made it like a ritual. I made it fun. So say for you, you're like me. Or maybe you aren't like me and you like cooking, but you don't meal prep. You don't do what you need to do. Maybe it's for you, it's tracking. So you decide you make a habit. So your habit could be, I'm going to show up. I'm going to go to the grocery store. Like the goal is to go to the grocery store, get the groceries and meal prep. But maybe the first step isn't that, okay, I'm going to do all that. Maybe the first habit is that I'm going to go to the grocery store every week on Monday. Or I'm going to go look at the ads to see what is on sale so I know what grocery store to go on Tuesday, something like that. Or maybe it's that I'm going to make sure I track on my app every day. So for that habit would be to look at the app every single day. It may not be to actually implement or to input, something into the app. This could look like for food, if you already have that stuff down, then you say, okay, on Wednesdays and Sundays are going to be the days, and I could kind of alternate between the two. Maybe it's not going to be exactly Wednesday or Sunday, but you decide on Wednesday or Sunday or both, I'm going to meal prep. So then you show up in the kitchen with your apron and your meal prep containers, even if you don't actually prep. I'm giving you the beginner and the medium and the advanced way, because the beginner way would be just to show up. The medium and advanced way would be to go all in and actually show up on Wednesday with your apron, with your meal prep containers, and and pack and cook this lunch, cook these meal preps, cook this breakfast. And you could figure out based on your scenario what is too much or too little for you, but don't do it to where you get overwhelmed. Start small and build it up. So say your second thing is, and this is actually the thing that a lot of people miss, and I was going to say it first because I feel like it should be the first thing, and that is sleep. Sleep is so important to everything when it has to do with your body. If you're trying to heal your body, you're trying to heal an ailment, a disease, if you are trying to gain weight, lose weight, whatever it is, sleep is something that people just skip on over. So say you start, I need a sleep schedule, okay? This is the second thing, which I think should be first, but again, I originally wrote it on my notes, I think as a third thing, because I know people roll their eyes when you say this, but making a schedule, okay? Every day I'm going to make sure, or every weekday, I'm going to make sure I sleep 7 to 8 hours. This is my goal. This is the habit I want to form. So in this habit, you could have a subcategory saying, okay, I want to go to bed by this time every day. I wouldn't recommend, me personally, when you're building a habit, to really go back and forth. I would try to keep that goal solid. Like I'm going to bed every day by 10. And if you say it that way, that means you can go to bed a little earlier, at 8 or 9, 10, or say your time is 11. You can go to bed a little earlier or at 11. But there's preparation, there's rituals, there's steps that you would have to take also to get to that goal. And when you start to think about it, you're like, okay, how can I make it better to get to sleep by 10? You're like, okay, I'll make sure I have my pajamas already picked, or at least like where your pajamas are and you have them already washed. You know that by this time I get off my phone. Maybe you have an automatic work focus. Like me, my phone is 99% or 95% of the time, it's on Do Not Disturb. I'm just going to be honest. It's on Do Not Disturb the majority of the time. I might as well turn it off, but sometimes I need it to write notes that I think of if I don't have a notebook on me. But for you, that might look like that. For me, my ritual, my unwinding is I don't use my phone 95% of the time before I go to sleep for an hour minimum. So sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's 3. I usually journal to wind down, read a book, both usually. Sometimes it's meditation, sometimes it's just thinking, but not thinking. I think the word would be ruminating, not doing that, but thinking like, okay, this went well today. I liked what I did. Maybe I'll do something different tomorrow. And because I've already written out my schedule and my planner, I don't have to worry about what I have to do tomorrow. So it's like all these steps that I have, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I have all these different habits that I stacked over a year or two. And now I do them very well. They are literally second nature. They're normal to me. I do them all the time, no matter where I am. And if I'm somewhere else where I can't do it, I think about it like, oh shoot, I can't do that because I'm, on this cruise ship or I'm at somebody's house. So it will become that habit. So start small. Baby steps. Say your third thing is the gym. I mean, that's probably the part you want to build muscle, gym, or you want to do a fitness class at home and being consistent with that. If it's walking for you, whatever it is. And if you need a beginner habit would be, okay, so say every day I'm going to get up and I'm going to put my workout shoes on. I'm going to put my outfit on. Or it could be I'm going to actually drive to the gym. And this is something that I actually did a long time ago before I even read Atomic Habits. In the beginning, because I was so scared to go in the gym, I would just drive there and I would sit in the car and I would just sit there, and it would take me like 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get inside sometimes. And finally I started going, I would go in and I work out, and then it became a habit. Like it didn't matter if somebody said they were going to show up and go work out with me. If they didn't, I still showed up and I worked out. It kind of became an inconvenience because I didn't like driving that far. But I did that for a long time. So you could take that same habit for yourself and say, okay, if the beginner step would be just putting on the shoes, putting on the outfit, it could be driving to the gym. It could be setting up the computer for you, the TV, to be able to watch the free course that you have on YouTube or a course you bought, something like that, somatic exercises. And then it could be, if it's for the actual gym, it could, like you advanced, you go into the gym, and instead of working out, maybe for you it's difficult to work out for 45 minutes to an hour. So you just go into the gym and you go on the treadmill, or you go into the gym and you go on the stair stepper, or you go only lift weights for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. Like to you, to other people it may look weird, but who cares? It's not about them. It's about you. You show up for yourself. And these little tweaks, these little habits are going to tell your brain it's okay. Like, oh, we could show up for ourselves. It gives you confidence and assurance that you can do it, because for so long you haven't been doing it. And that's why it's important to start as early as you can, because once you hit January 1st and you're trying to do all of these things at one time, you're more than likely going to end up being just like those 80% of people who end up going back on their resolutions, on their goals. And that's why the identity change is important. You become the person who says, like, I am an athlete. Even if you're not working, you're not playing for a team, you can be athletic. You could train like an athlete. I'm a swimmer. I am a writer. I am a reader. I am an excellent money manager. I am wealthy. I am confident. Whatever your goal is, I am healed. I am whole. And you make that who you are. And it takes time. It does take time. And I'm not saying this video is for every single human, but as a woman speaking to mostly women, I know men probably watch my videos too, but to women, you that energy around it, that vibe that you give, that you put out there, it will change the trajectory of your life. Your habits will change. Your thought processes will change. I made a video some years ago when I first stopped drinking. I was a drinker. Like I drank from when I was like 13 or 14 years old until 2 years. I think I'm hitting 2 years in like 2 months. 2 years of no drinking. I never was like addicted to it. I never felt like I was addicted to alcohol, but I mean, it was part of my identity. It's what I did. Okay. It's something I did all the time. I loved drinking, not mixed drinks. I love specific types of drinks. That is not who I am anymore. People don't even ask me to drink unless they haven't seen me in a long time. And I honestly feel like people could tell I don't drink just by, I don't know, just because people who knew me before and then they're around me, if they come around me again, they're like, oh, she's different. People will notice that. But I think most importantly, you will notice it. So to recap what I just said, it's starting now. Don't be part of that 80% who quit. Start today. Baby steps. Pick 1 to 5 goals. I recommend 1 to 3. And I recommend those goals for 2026, those intentions, those identity changes, those It's who you are becoming who you want to be. Like, you're not making it just like, oh, I want to be rich. Okay, why, what kind of person wants to be, what kind of person do I need to be this wealthy individual? What kind of person do I need to be who has the flat stomach, or who has the muscles, or who has the dream car, or who travels the world, or who has the dream relationship and the awesome kids? What does that take? And you need to think about that, journal about it, talk to yourself about it. It's okay to talk to yourself. And if you're worried about it, do it in private. So write those goals, those intentions, that who you want to become. Those 3 things. You focus on one for now. And you want to do, and I actually forgot to mention this, when you're doing that one thing and you break them into, 2 to 3 or 4 habits to get to that goal based on what your goal is, make sure that you're doing them for a period of time, not all together. I might have mentioned this already, but I want to mention it just in case again. You don't want to go and start the sleeping habit, then the eating habit, and the working out habit all at the same time. You start the habit and do it for a time. So say you're sleeping, so you focus on the sleeping part for a month, or maybe it's a few weeks, maybe it's a couple months. It's up to you. All the habit data says different things. It's like, oh, it's 21 days. Oh, it's 66 days. Oh, it's 90 days. Whatever that is for you. Once you know you're it's became sort of normal for you. Okay. So after I think about 30 days, it should be at least decent enough for you to carry on to the next one. Now, if you know that you can handle multiple goals, multiple habits, then you can do that. I'm not saying not to, but if you're at a beginner level, I would not start with 3. I would start with 1, going to sleep at the right time. Then, going to the gym, showing up for the gym, then making sure you meal prep. As you go, you'll just add on these habits, and that's like what I did. So I started off with, okay, I'm gonna write in, I don't know, I have 3 journals up here, but they're stacked up, but I have my journals, my planner. So I switched to physical planner again, instead of using the digital way of planning for most things. Those became habits slowly over a year or 2. And what you become in the process will be life-changing, because even if you don't reach that goal when you want to reach the goal, the journey, the person you become on the way to that goal, that intention, is what matters, because that change, that is creating a new version of you, a new person, and it's telling you that you can. And so I'm here to tell you, remind you that you can, you are able, you are more than enough, you are worthy, you deserve. All the things that you want, you can have them. And as someone who was so self-conscious, so anxious, and I still have anxiety, it's something I'm probably will have till the day I die, but I keep on, I don't want to say fighting it, but healing, working with it, loving on it, having compassion for it and for myself, and growing with it. No matter where you are in life, you can do this. I promise you can do it. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard when you haven't believed that for so long, when you've been telling yourself this story for so long, but I know you can, because I'm doing it, and there's so many people out there that are doing it. And if they can do it, you can too. And I've said that 10,000 times, and it's important that you repeat things, even though I hate repeating myself, but I try to repeat myself 5 times in everything I was saying today, so that it can be ingrained in your head going forward. I will see you in the next video. Happy 2026. We're almost there. I shouldn't say happy 2026, but happy almost 2026. Lock in for Q4. I'll see you in the next video. With all my love, Lana.